Hello, folks. So I wanted to talk about romantic relationships in this video, or even relationships in general, but specifically romantic relationships. But you can kind of extend the idea to like any kind of relationship. For example, say friends, colleagues, or anyone with whom you want to actually be connected to, right? But I'll be focusing mainly on romantic relationships, and I'll take me as an example. And I want to talk about like how I think about romantic relationships and what makes sense to me, and what doesn't make sense to me, and what generally makes sense to other people and whatnot. So, and what doesn't make sense to other people, right? So let's get started. Uh, it's not going to be too big. I think it's going to be very basic. The idea being that you know who would I choose as a romantic partner, right? I was just wondering about this question recently. I mean, I'm 28 years old, and I've been in only one romantic relationship till now, a proper one for around a year or so, right? A bit more than a year. And there were two other short, very shorts, like 2 months, 1 month, kind of, uh, relationship of sorts. It wasn't casual. It was serious, but of course, it stopped in 2 months or 1 month. Either the other person said no, or I said let's break up, right? So let's look at why I would actually choose someone as a partner, right? For me, the idea is more about who I don't want as a partner. I think I'm very much into thinking about what I don't want compared to what I want first. It's easy to just filter out options when you have too many options. The general idea being, how do you filter out and say, you surely don't want this, right? And then you also look at what do you want, right? Because even if you want something and someone has it, or some item has it, if you're buying an electronic item, whatever, but it also has something that you really don't want at all, would you compromise is the question. What is negotiable, what is non-negotiable, and whatnot, right? But I kind of have some non-negotiables, stuff that I don't really want at all, right? As much as possible, right? So let me talk about those. So let's use a board. So this is actually a digital board. So for example, I don't think I can actually be with someone who smokes, right? So smoking, anyone who smokes basically, right? This can be, cigarettes, cigarettes, right? Um, this can be weed, smoking weed, even hookah, like especially on a regular basis, right? Or even sometimes like for leisure, like their idea of leisure being, go ahead and what do you say, smoke a hookah whenever they are stressed out, whenever they're angry or whatever, right? Or they have a bad mood, then go ahead and smoke, right? Like, I don't want such a person at all, right? I don't want someone who uses something to actually, control their mood, especially something that's not good for their health, right? People do say that weed is way better, go green and whatnot, um, green and stuff, but I don't think weed is a good idea, especially if you take it for leisure and not for like medicinal purposes. Though weed is legal in many places, in India, first of all, it's illegal. Funnily, cigarettes, smoking, and all are legal, and I think even hookah is legal. Um, but yeah, I don't want anyone. So I'll be like, if if women have standards, I mean, men can also have standards. Anyone can have standards. And if someone is smoking, I'll most probably say, fuck off, go away. I don't want you, right? And other things, for example, especially if they are chain smokers, right? I surely don't want them. If they're trying to quit, that is something that I can consider, but I'm not sure though. Because this goes back to the idea of what is their current state and what is their ideal state, right? Current versus ideal. Even I am not my ideal state, as in, but I don't smoke though. So current, let's say their current is like not ideal and not something that I want, right? This is what I want, let's say, or more like this is what I need. I want and I need this, right? Or close to ideal, right? Or close to ideal, right? Like there are some ideal things that I need. And let's say they are currently smoking, but they are trying to quit. Do I just trust them and trust the whole idea that they will end up eventually quitting? And hence, do I put in efforts in the relationship? Or do I wait? Do I tell them that, let's come back later, let's meet back later when you're done quitting smoking or weed or whatever, cigarettes, weed, whatever, right? And once you're done quitting, then we can start dating, getting into a relationship and whatnot, right? So that is something that I've been wondering about. Oops. So, do I consider people who are trying to quit? Because if they're trying to quit, it is a really good thing, yes. But yeah, I mean, what they say versus what they do is a question. Saying versus doing. A lot of people say a lot of things. For example, even say I say a lot of things, but do I do them? Do all of them is the question, right? And are they simply lying or saying just to get into the relationship? I mean, with me, I don't think so. Anyone would do that. I think I have low, no, I'm not, I don't think, I'm sure that I have low self esteem. So I don't think someone would be so desperate to actually get into a romantic relationship with me that they would lie saying that, I'll actually quit smoking or I'm planning to quit smoking. Or if it's their general idea and they're desperate to get married or get into a romantic relationship and find a long term partner, a life partner, and eventually end up marrying them of sorts, or live with them till the end of their life, then for that they would just lie. But how long will that lie go on for is a question, right? So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to just believe saying. Saying is easy. Doing is harder. So for some people, even saying is harder. I'll be like, fuck off if you can't even say with me. For example, people who say I love you versus people who actually show saying I love you, right? Versus showing I love you is one thing, especially in a love language that I understand. Let's say physical touch is a love language that I understand. Then basically holding my hand uh, and showing that they love me is one way, or acts of service, right? So these are different love languages. So love language is a concept popularized by this, I think, professor. He's an author though, also. So his name is Gary Chapman, Gary, Gary Chapman. So he has popularized this idea of love languages, and according to him, there are 5 love languages, right? So there are five of them. One is physical touch, right? Physical touch. And another is acts of service. Another is gifting. Another is quality time, so spending quality time, right? And then I forgot, yeah, one more is words of affirmation, right? So yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, words matter a lot, especially for me. If someone simply just uses rude words with me, I would get so hurt that I would just not want to be with them, right? So one moment, let me try to clear this up. How do I clear this up? So let's actually export this. One moment. Import, export, email. Okay. Let me just send this up later, but so here let's actually look at what was I talking about? I was talking about words of affirmation, right? If someone uses words, right, like words are very important for me, yes, and actions too. um, it should actually coincide. Words and actions should coincide, right? I mean, of course, I can't see thoughts. Ideally, thoughts, actions, and words, if they coincide and if they are like in sync, then you are at peace, right? In sync, then you are at peace. Yes. Yes, then you are at peace, right? No, no peace generally, right? So in my case, usually thoughts with most times it's all good for me. Words and actions are also good, so it's usually in sync. Very rarely thoughts, it can be tricky, like if I mean I used to have very bad OCD. So if there's like OCD issues, then thoughts can be a problem. So I can understand people who have mental health issues and thought. What do you say? I think it's called error in thought. Um, so that is a possible thing. But the thing is, regardless of what you think, if you can actually act in a proper manner, let's say words, behavior, right? Behavior, actions, body language, anything, right? Anything that one can see, right? And one can put effort into and other person can see, right? And if it's like automatic also, it's fine, but basically the other person can see your act, right? When you act, when you do stuff, the other person can see. Then if these are all in sync and are great, then I'm fine with it. Like if you commit and say that you will actually do something and you hold up to your commitment, you held your commitment, let's say, or hold up your commitment, held it, then commitment and held it, great. That's all I want, right? Any promise, held it great. You held it great. Because, I mean, I don't want someone who is like, for example, let's say their thoughts or their intentions are different, which I can't really find out, right? I can't really read minds, right? Intentions, thoughts, you know, ulterior motives, right? This and all is like hard to really find out. Some people can really act well, but then as long as I can see their actions and I can actually benefit and be happy with their actions, then I think I'm fine. If they have bad intentions, at some point it's going to come out. For example, let's say someday a thief comes to my house and my partner lets me die because she is fine with me dying. I think it's like a very bad worst case scenario, and I don't want to actually optimize for that. I mean, I really don't expect someone to actually sacrifice their life, even if they're really, really good. And if they're evil, of course, they won't sacrifice their life. I don't want, I'm not looking for a partner who will sacrifice their life, who will give their life, who will die for me and all, right? Right? So some people would expect that kind of, what do you say, commitment and whatnot. Like, will you die for me? How will you even test for this? Like, there are movies where people test for this. For example, I think in one of the Batman movies or Joker movies, I think Joker's partner basically jumps into acid to show that she will die for him, right? She will do anything for him. And Joker then jumps into the acid himself. It's in a chemical factory. So Joker also jumps into the acid and then, saves the life of his future to be partner, and then partners with her, and they both fall in love, right? So it's like a very, very toxic kind of love wherein you expect the other person to fully sacrifice themselves for you. So if they have bad intentions, or even if they have good intentions, they might end up, you know, not sacrificing themselves for you, right? So in very bad case scenarios, they might not support you. It's fine. The probability of those scenarios are very less, right? And when those scenarios happen, that time you can actually check it out. For example, let's say I grow up, or I don't want to take me as an example in this case, but this is something that I've heard before. Like, for example, my friend, she mentioned that she knows someone. The guy got cancer, right? And after marriage, I think, right? So guy and girl, they got married. I think after marriage he got cancer, or he diagnosed cancer. Maybe he had it before itself, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, or if he knew it and all, but basically they got to know that he has cancer. But the next thing is, basically the girl couldn't handle it and she had to divorce the guy, right? Now many would say this is a bad thing, she has to support the guy. The thing is this, right? A lot of people cannot, for example, one of my friends cannot see blood. He once told me that his pinky finger was bleeding and he actually saw that and fainted, right? So it was crazy. So people have different levels of emotions when it comes to medical stuff, medical issues, intense stuff, right? So maybe for this girl this was very intense, I don't know, I'm just guessing. Maybe supporting someone with cancer is a very hard thing, right? Maybe he can't work, or if he works he needs a lot of support. He needs a lot of care. Can the girl give that much amount of care is the question, right? So probably it's a very, very hard scenario, right? These are very hard scenarios. You basically are getting into really, really bad situations in life. For example, you get cancer, or you become disabled or paralyzed, right? Um, or you're kidnapped, or you have a hospitalization, some accident and whatnot. Very, very bad stuff can happen in life, right? or basically someone threatens to kill you and they have kidnapped you and they're trying to kill you, and do you expect um your girl, your partner, your wife to actually come and save you by sacrificing themselves? Maybe not, right? Most probably not. Like, so similarly, like you get into an accident or you get paralyzed or you get disabled somehow and whatnot, and you have health issues, your partner basically, like it can be a girl or a guy, like depending on your sexuality and whatnot. If you're gay and if you're a guy, you can actually be married to a guy if you are in the US and whatnot, or any other place that has legal gay marriage or homosexual marriages. And if you're a girl, marry a girl and whatnot, or different genders and whatnot. But I'm just giving an example here from what I heard. So maybe the partner cannot support the person, right? Their partner, the other partner. So when they can't support or when they can't take it, when they can't really go through life with a person who has, say, mental health issues, physical health issues, or a mix of those, or whatever, or issues in general, and it's actually going to actually eat them up, right? It's probably going to eat up the, say, we can call them as A and B partner. These two are partners, let's say, like assuming it's a, monogamy. If it's non-monogamy, then it can be C, D, E, and so on, right? How much are, right? Polygamy. But for now, let's just assume monogamy. With monogamy in place, let's just assume that if this partner really cannot handle the other partner's issue, right? Say health issues or whatever, or financial issues, they have a lot of debt, and now partner is worried that all the money that they earned will actually be used up to spend to finish off the debt of the partner, that the partner took up or failed because of business loss or whatever, right? I recently heard such a case where the partner had a lot of money because the girl, okay, it was a girl and the other one was a guy, and so basically they inherited a lot of money from their parents, I think, and they also earned money. The other person had a lot of debt, I think, and I don't think both were involved in the debt. It was mainly this one partner's debt for business or work or whatever, and they benefited from like the loan that they got, the credit that they got, and that's what I'm assuming. Or both of them benefited. I don't know. Like if it's a house and both of them lived in it, then both of them benefited from it. Anyways, but this person was not willing to actually give away all of their money um, to close the debt, finish up the debt, pay off the debt of the partner. They were afraid that they might just lose all of their money and they might still be in debt, so they actually divorced this person, right? So financial crisis, financial issues, economic issues, health issues, anything, right? These kind of issues, people are going to actually suffer, and the partner might end up leaving you. So I think very extreme case scenarios, like you really can't expect your partner to be always with you, though a lot of people would say the partner should be with the other partner and support them through tough times and whatnot in case of health issues, financial issues, or whatever. But sometimes it's just not possible, as in the person just cannot take it. Maybe they're just not strong enough, or maybe they just don't want all of those issues in their life. They just want to choose to not have those issues, and they are just choosing to divorce the person. Unlike the whole idea of till death do they part, a lot of people just want to live a peaceful life. So most times they will just try to see what makes sense. Till death do they part, right? Um, or I don't know, like basically it's some Christian thing, I think. In marriages, I've heard they don't part till they die, basically, right? Till one of them dies, they don't part. If one of them dies, yeah, they part. Both of them dies, of course, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking at someone who is not gonna smoke or who is not having any unhealthy habits, crazy unhealthy habits. When I say unhealthy habits, I'm talking about food, right? And then stuff like vices, which means smoking. Whenever I say smoking, I want to say smoking causes cancer. It's a popular phrase that comes up in Indian movies, and that drinking is injurious to health. Um, so in Tamil it says புற்றுநோய் புகைப்பிடிப்பது புற்றுநோயை உண்டாக்கும், something like that. Basically to say that if you smoke it will cause cancer, and I forgot, liquor drinking is injurious to health, and like yeah, மது அருந்துதல் உடல் நலத்திற்கு கேடு விளைவிக்கும். Anyways, I'll talk about that in my Tamil channel. So these are like phrases that come up in movies to say that smoking causes cancer, and drinking is injurious to health. So smoking causes cancer and smoking kills is what they say. So smoking, drinking alcohol, right? If they're alcoholic, wow, no. Like I don't want those kind of issues, right? Like food, physical health, right? Health like not moving, right? Even mental health. Now you might ask me, Karpe, are you actually healthy? Like I don't smoke, I don't drink alcohol. I eat a healthy food almost 99% of the time, I think, or so I say. Like 2 days ago or something, I did eat popcorn. Plain popcorn is fine, but I ate popcorn with I think ghee and or butter. I can't remember if it was ghee or butter. I don't think it was cheese. And I did use masala. I know it was unhealthy, yes, and I ended up eating quite a bit. This masala is bad. I think it is packet masala, something which has I don't know what, but additives for sure. Yeah, preservatives, additives, and whatnot. Not sugar, but salty stuff and some fat or whatever it will have. Yeah, bad fat probably. So, but most times I eat good food, healthy food, right? Healthy. So I want healthy food to be unhealthy, like junk food and whatnot, right? Like packaged food, sugar, what else? Sugar is bad, packaged food, junk food, deep fried food, right? Too much oily food, very oily food, right? All of these I don't want, right? Like I don't want someone who does this, and especially if they say, "Hey, I want to actually share food with my partner," right? Because usually in restaurants they give a lot of food, and usually, let's say I date women, and I've seen a lot of women who say that I can't eat all of this, and usually restaurant food is also like that. The food is made in such a way that any item you order, you will get a lot of food. It is to give the idea that we ask a lot of money because we give a lot of food, and you can't pay less and get less food. You pay a lot, get a lot of food, and it will be junk food. And the idea is when it's a lot of food, you need to bring in more people, and when you bring in more people to a restaurant, you will end up spending more, and that way the restaurant earns, restaurant or cafe or whatever eatery place, and it's a lot of junk food usually. And you, if you don't want to share junk food, then it's going to be problematic. I know women who are like, I want a partner just so that they'll finish up the leftovers that I leave, right? Like leftovers of their food, right? So they basically want a dustbin of sorts, I guess. I don't know, or like they don't want to waste food, and They want to have a partner who likes the food as much as they do and just share the food, right? I don't fucking want that issue at all. So even in friends, like a lot of people share food and whatnot. I try to not go out with people as much as possible as part of socializing and eat food because they order food that they like. It's either spicy, very oily, or seems very addictive and junk that I'm like, okay, I shouldn't probably go with them. And then physical health, if they are not moving much, not moving, right? Or in mental health, like say, again, kind of related to physical health and also meditation or stuff like that. For example, I don't meditate, yes, but I do plan to do it, I'll do it. But basically, you could ask me, Karvaya, do you do all these? Like, I do move quite a bit, I walk a lot, and I do try to go to the gym or lift weights and all that. Gym, exercise, yoga, right? Um, yoga, right? So not moving and no gym. Basically, these are unhealthy. No exercise, no yoga, nothing, right? No meditation. Basically, I don't want unhealthy habits. I want healthy habits, right? Smoking, drinking alcohol, narcotic drugs, right? I don't want all of these, right? Go to hell. Like you're trying to slowly kill yourself. Please do. Please go ahead. But I don't want to be part of it, right? So that is that about like unhealthy habits and some more unhealthy habits in terms of like, for example, um, time, right? Binge watching movies. Like I do watch, I used to be doing this binge watching movies, TV series, what else? Instagram, Insta Reels or Instagram, whatever. Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, TikTok videos, and all that, right? YouTube Shorts, you get the drill, right? Shorts, TikTok, etc. And a lot of social media. I do end up using a lot of social media. I'm trying to work on it and a lot of crap news, right? For example, gossip, right? I try to not get into this, but I have actually read it at times. But yeah, I mean, gossip, like for example, there's a lot of Bollywood gossip in India. At a global level, a lot of people talk about Kardashians, for example. I really don't want anyone who is actually into all of that stuff. Crap, no crap, basically, right? And then social media, so scrolling, doom scroll, right? Yes, I did fart. I think I'm fine with farting because I fart. Anyways, so yeah, anything unhealthy, I don't want it, right? Other unhealthy behaviors or stuff would be um, unhealthy. So, food is one thing, unhealthy habits in general, food in general, and lifestyle in general, right? Um, Habits kind of related, like for example, not going to the gym, sitting a lot, or binge watching a lot of stuff and whatnot, how they think, how they act and whatnot, and food, it's all kind of related. Lifestyle, for example, using the staircase instead of the lift as much as possible, right? So is it healthy, unhealthy is the question, right? And then, yeah, I mean, I was recently then talking to my friends. I was wondering if there was one more Karpaya, would I marry him? Right? Like assuming that, forget the gender, or Karpaya would be a guy, or let's say there's a girl with all the characteristics of Karpaya, right? Will I marry them? I don't know, right? I might marry, like, let's say my current version of Karpaya is V1, right? um, V 1.0, I might marry Karpya 2.0 maybe. Basically, I want to marry me, but a better version of me, right? Now, you could say, why would Karpya 2.0 marry someone who is 1.0? Good question. Well, if I hit the jackpot or the lottery, that's what I'm expecting. But of course, why wouldn't Karpya 1.0 want, not want 2.0? Like, of course, like Karpya 2.0 would just basically be better than 1.0, like all the good stuff of 1.0 and bad stuff of 1.0 removed is 2.0, something like that. Anyways, so I've heard my ex and people like in general talk about growing together as a person. They say, hey, why can't you just find someone and grow together with them, right? Both of you grow together, right? I get it, but it's hard to find, like, sometimes trust if they will actually get better and improve themselves, right? Do they put in efforts? For example, how do I put in efforts? I don't put that much efforts, but in food, I do actually try to be healthy in lifestyle and whatnot. And for example, I recently started using Bumble more. I spent, I think, 6K rupees or 5K rupees. I can't remember. I think it's 6K for the lifetime subscription of Bumble, right? I'll talk about that in a separate video. I think it is 6K, right? So, subscription to interesting stuff. Anyway, subscription to basically use the Bumble Premium, right? It doesn't have all the features of Bumble. Like, for example, it doesn't have unlimited spotlight and all, but it does have enough spotlight and stuff, and then super swipe, and then some more stuff, right? I think these two only are not unlimited. Others are all unlimited, right? Interestingly, lifetime subscription was not there for Boost, but however, it's fine. Premium has more features, and lifetime subscription made sense than buying the thing. And I was fine to pay for it because I was like, let's put in the effort. It has its own pros and cons, I'll tell you. In short, I think the pro is basically I get all the features of premium, and I can just find more people and open up Bumble anytime, and I will know that I have likes that I can use and swipe right how many other times. The con is since I bought this lifetime subscription and subscribed to it, I might end up spending more time on Bumble because now I have unlimited likes, so it never gets over. So I'll keep swiping right until the filter shows me people, and usually with my filter, a lot of people come up. So at least as of now, I'm in Bangalore, and a lot of people are there on Bumble in Bangalore. So even with some filters like saying no smoking and whatnot, there are a lot of people coming up. So unlimited likes, so that is a con, causing me to probably use the app too much if I have time. So I have to be careful about how I use it. So time is a thing. But the good thing is, if I have more time to spend, I can use more likes. If I have less time to spend, just use less likes and come out, right? Because in the case of not having the lifetime subscription, if I have more time but I don't have enough likes, then I can't just spend more time on it, right? So that is that. And yeah, I mean, I might end up spending too much time on it because I have enough likes, and I might open it up anytime and I'll have likes to use, unlike waiting for likes to fill up and then using it again. Then I'll be using it less only for less time. So that is that. Okay, my charge is going down. Let me actually use a power bank. One moment. Cool. So I'm back. Perks of having a power bank. So I was talking about likes and unlimited likes and spending too much time on Bumble and all, right? So I'm putting in effort, right? But I don't know if people will put in efforts. Like, I mean, just paying and using money is too easy. I am trying to put in time, effort, energy, right? People do it? I don't know, but I'm trying to do it as much as I can to actually find a life partner, right? So the thing is, it's easy to filter out people or filter out options. You have too many options, too many people in the world, millions and billions of people, like millions in a city or a state or country, whatever. And like in countries, I mean, like in India, you can have billions of people and whatnot. How do you filter out? It's very easy, right? Like I know what I don't want, right? So, for example, I'm in Bangalore. A lot of people in Bangalore smoke. This includes men and women, right? So I'll say no smoking, right? So that actually reduces the number of people to very less. And then when I say no junk food, that will actually reduce the number of people more. So the pool of people that I'm looking at would be very small then, right? I'm just trying to put circles to show people, right? Number of people. So because the whole set of people, like my people, would be very less compared to the whole set of people out there in the world, right? Actually, I should use dots, I think, and use a very small circle and say these are probably the set of people that I look at compared to the whole set of people in the world. This is just an imaginary circle. Of course, the actual circle should be really, really big. There'll be a lot of people in the world, lot of dots, right? But then such a big circle, and this will be the only set of people that I'll focus on. These are people who are, say, focused, who are disciplined, right? There are very few people. I'm looking at minority, right? Like I usually call people who are unhealthy or the usual or the average as the majority, right? Like majority people are unhealthy and whatnot, from what I know. So I usually call it as taking advantage of the behavior of the majority, right? The majority have a particular behavior, right? Usually they are not punctual. Even I'm not punctual at times. They are not disciplined, right? They are not responsible. Um, Not healthy. They don't wake up on time, right? Not sleeping or waking up on time. By the way, it's actually pretty late for me. It's actually 12:06 a.m. So I'm also not sleeping on time. I'm actually making this video. Not sleeping on time or waking up on time, right? Right. And many things, right? Like very lazy, right? Very lazy in important stuff, right? Like, but for them it's probably unimportant. That's why they are being lazy. Very lazy in some things, right? Not serious. By the way, I'm also sometimes like this, but the minority is basically very disciplined, very focused, right? Very smart, always putting in effort, very hardworking, right? It's not about talent. I don't want talent. I don't fucking care about talent, I think. Very hardworking and very, what do you say, optimistic and realistic. Um, Never give up. Keep trying. Failure doesn't stop them, right? Failure doesn't stop them. They are very hardworking, very optimistic, and realistic. They never give up. They keep trying and all that, right? And I think focus, I'm not sure if it's double S. Anyways, they're very focused, very disciplined, very healthy, right? Um, Very self aware, right? They keep on improving themselves, right? So these are some characteristics that you cannot find in many people, right? If you can actually find someone like this, you've hit a jackpot, right? Because majority people are not this. Only minority people are like this, right? So if you can find someone like a part of the minority, then great. People who have different perspectives, right? Different perspectives. Let's put in more the minority list. I can also put in more majority, like talking about how bad stuff are in the majority. We'll talk about that. Different perspectives, growth mindset, right? There is grit. Basically, grit is kind of related to all the stuff that I spoke about before. So, grit is basically perseverance and consistency, or persistency or persistent, right? Let me fart a moment, one moment. Done. Okay, so perseverance, consistency, not giving up, hard working, and all that. I think there is more. I forgot. Grit. And then different perspectives, growth mindset, different schools of thought. They understand different schools of thought. They are always learning, right? Lifelong learner. Some of them are also teachers, right? It's not easy to teach stuff or talk about stuff and like communicate something and make it sensible, right? So I would actually look for a partner who is like this, right? Partner, friend, colleague, right? I want people who are like this. I don't want anyone else really, right? Sometimes I do actually lack some of these, and I wonder like, okay, it doesn't make sense for me to expect someone to have it when I don't have it. But then I'm just trying to be more optimistic, and I'm trying to build some of these skills. I think any skill can be learned, right? Any skill can be learned. Anything can be learned, right? Anything, right? Any skill. If you put your mind to it, I think it's possible. People think it's not, but I think it's possible. I mean, a lot of people would say play to your strengths, whatever skill you can comes naturally and whatnot. But yeah, so all these minority people, they know their strengths and weaknesses. They are very self-aware, like I said, and they know what they want, right? All these minority people, they know what they want. Minority of people, they know what they want. They're forward thinking and all that, very not conservative and all. They know what they want, know what they want, basically self aware, that I spoke about before. They know what they want and what they don't want and what they need, for example. What they don't want, right? Don't need, etc. Right? They know a lot of these things, right? What they want, what they need, what they don't want, what they don't need, and all that. Forward thinking, right? They're very philosophical and all. I think these are some stuff that I really like. And yeah, the philosophical, um, and they generally have an opinion on almost everything. Philosophical, and they're not too selfish. They're not too self-absorbed or selfish. Not too selfish or self-absorbed or self-centered, right? They help a lot. They help people. They're very humble. They're kind, caring, right? And in the moment, these are some of my values that I try to follow in the moment, in the present, right? And responsible. I think I mentioned responsible before. And all like a lot of these, right? Helping nature, right? So philanthropic and all that. So yeah, I mean there are very few people like these, and I would actually want to associate myself with such people in terms of like friends, um, colleagues, or anyone, right? And also my partner, right? In the future, they'll become my lifelong partner, and basically turn into my wife. I'm looking for a girl, a woman, so yeah. So, yeah, I mean, and when I spoke about health, some indicators of good health, you can see if they smoke, if they drink alcohol. I don't want alcoholics. I'm okay with waterholics or hydroholics, basically, who drink a lot of water. I drink a lot of water. I overdrink. I get drunk with water. So, and what else? Are they fat? Right? If someone is fat, I wouldn't go for them at all. Right? Why? I mean, I understand that that is like a very looks based thing. It's very shallow and all, right? I understand that, but the thing is, um, but the thing is, if they're fat, from what I know, it's most probably because of their doing, right? It can be because of genes and all, or it can be because of food and lifestyle and habits, right? And I think that most people can actually fix things, except maybe a few. Most people can actually be fit and not fat. So if they're fat, if they smoke, if they drink alcohol, I'll just say no. Plain no, right? It's easy to say no. It's easy to remove that choice and not think too much, right? If they say they can lose the fat, maybe lose the fat and come back, or start losing the fat when we date. That's all, right? So if they're fat, I'll just totally say no. The interesting thing is, I've heard like people might say Karpya, this is too much, right? Like women have crazy standards, many women do. Why can't men have women have crazy standards? Why can't men have crazy standards? Like women want like I'll give you an example, right? Like not all women, of course. This is like similar to not all men and all that. But not all women, let me give you an example, right? My ex and like many people like have mentioned stuff like these, right? And friends and whatnot. So they talk about how they want someone who's tall. I'm like, dude, like, what if he's everything but not tall? Isn't that shallow, right? They want someone who is tall, right? They want someone who is of a particular culture, right? For example, he is from Tamil Nadu in India, right? Or he is not from Kerala, right? I'm like, oh my god, so now you're looking at this. So tall, surely, because at least not short and not too short. Apparently, they will look like a mom, so they don't want that. He can be the best man in the world, and if he's short, it's no, because they don't find them attractive. Then why can't men say that, well, I want my woman to be, not fat? Especially when fat is also an indication of not just physical appearance and attractiveness, but it's also an indication of them not being healthy, most probably not being healthy or having some health issues, right? So, no, I don't want someone who's fat. So, if you can say that I want someone who's tall, why can't I say that I want someone who is not fat, who is thin, right? And then they'll say stuff like, I want the man to actually be well groomed and whatnot, right? Grooming, right? I get it. This actually costs money. I think it needs privilege, costs money. And they say they want someone who speaks very good English, right? I understand this, but then they should also understand that there's a lot of privilege here, right? Like knowing good English, there's a lot of privilege. You need a lot of experience and practice and culture and environment. For this, you need a lot of money also. For your haircuts, or you cut your hair yourself or whatever. And for your dresses, or you can find nice dresses which are cheap also. But yeah, you basically have to put in a lot of effort and time and energy for these two. A lot of things are privilege, right? And like, I don't think you can suddenly become tall, for example. You can become thin. A lot of people can become thin. You can't suddenly become tall, or you can't suddenly change your culture, your whole past, to be like you're from Tamil Nadu or you're not from Kerala, right? You can't change some of these, right? Anyways, English, yeah, I mean, it's going to take time to actually put in effort and time and energy and practice to actually get this right. So, anyways, and then women are like, I want someone who earns more than me, right? Like, if men also start thinking like that, then no one will get a partner, right? Like, I mean, if both sides think like this, like, I want my partner to earn more, like, let's say it's a heterosexual relationship, man thinks I want woman to earn more, right? Man says this, woman says, I want man to earn more or equal, right? Now, if even if one of them earns a bit more or less, at least they should have some approximate of like a bit more or less, like this is fine, right? Or else no one's gonna find a partner if they keep fighting about income and how much the income should be. And then the whole fuck shit, bad shit, crazy stuff about feminism. A lot of women just support women. Some of them don't even support women also. There are cases of this. I'll talk about this separately. For example, there was this recent case, right? RGKR hospital, medical hospital in Kolkata, a doctor got raped and murdered. Apparently, a posh society of women and people in general protested for this. And then a slum area nearby had people who came in, like some women came in and they tried to join the protest. And when they tried to join the protest, these posh people, high class people, said you can't join because this is for people only from this apartment, this society, who are basically high class, that is. And they shooed them over, right? Like basically, women shooing women, kicking women off, and not supporting women. And then women talk about feminism, bullshit, crazy. Anyways, ideally, women feminism is all about equality. I think it's not just like about women; it's about women, men, anyone, like any person. Basically, it's just human rights, equality. But anyways, so people talk about feminism and be like, the man has to be supportive and whatnot. Little, I think I'm very very careful about people like this, and I want someone who is patient, right? I have seen women who are impatient, right? And they want speed in everything, right? Some women, I'm not saying all, I have seen women when I've been in relationships, they are all impatient. They want speed, right? They are not perfect, okay? And a lot of them are rude, by the way. They want the man to be kind, but they are rude usually. They want the man to be kind, they want the man to be understanding, but they won't be all of these. Sometimes, at least, that's what I'm seeing. This is based on my experience, right? They want the man to be kind and understanding and all. They want a lot of things, women, and it's just that when they start saying stuff like, women should have equal rights, I get it. Well, men can have expectations also. And for example, one of my friends, he says he wants his woman to actually cook for him, right? Well, that's his expectation. If he cannot find a woman like that, well, he'll be single forever. That's all. It's fine. Women shouldn't just come and say that, well, why should women cook and whatnot? My friend will probably find a cook and whatnot for his wife, who knows, and then along with his wife, he might end up cooking and whatnot. But he's a very classic cliche man from the classic patriarchal society. A lot of people hate patriarchy, but it is still there. I agree. Even I don't like it so much. But there is always some group of people who are undergoing problems, right? And other groups benefiting from it, right? So group A or B, or say group A1, A2, AN suffering, and group B1, B2, BN benefiting and enjoying. Or maybe they are also suffering in a different way and privileged, right? It's always a tricky game, but currently a lot of women, and it is true that a lot of people think that, a lot of women, a lot of people think that men are this group, and it is kind of true. And this is women or black people and whatnot, like minorities, black people, queer people, disabled people, right? These people are benefiting because of the suffering, or in general, they're just benefiting and enjoying and being privileged. There are some women who are also privileged, anyways. So, I mean, some of my friends have classic patriarchal or patriarchy based expectations, like women should do this, women should be like this, women should be like that. A lot of my women friends would disagree. I get it. But then if he can find a woman like that, he's lucky. He got what he want. And I really hope that the woman also is fine with what she's giving. And if he doesn't find such a person, then that is his problem. He'll figure it out. But I don't know why women are like change their expectations, asking men to change their expectations. Especially if women are fighting so much, I think women should just be single. But I see some women who are just crying out loud um, that they want to marry. Why can't they just be single? What happens maybe when all women boycott, right? And or all women men also boycott. Boycott what? Right? Let me tell you. Boycott, right? I don't know. Is this called cancel culture? I don't know. But boycott and say um, no to men. Like this is assuming heterosexual thing, right? And say no to women, right? So basically, everyone stays single, right? Even if one of these happen or if both of these happen, then basically everyone stays single. No problem of like why are men like this, why are women like this in a relationship, in a marriage and whatnot, or in a live-in relationship and whatnot. Basically, just all of you be single. Don't cry out loud. This is assuming heterosexual relationships, but in general, basically, both sides or n sides, right? If it's like a polygamy, if it's not monogamy, both sides say no, or most, or one or most, right? One or one side says no, right? Like one side, the whole group of people, right? One or most, if it's like non-monogamy, right? Monogamy, both and one for monogamy, and most for non-monogamy. So most side says no, or n sides, like all sides say no, all, right? And if it's monogamy, then both sides, like men and women, or men and men, like two men or two women, or like one man or the one woman, whatever. And basically, they are like saying no to each other, and everyone sits and cries in case they are feeling lonely. Anyways, and I also have some ideas of like why I shouldn't get into a relationship or marry, or when I shouldn't. For example, if I'm feeling lonely, I recently was feeling lonely and I was thinking about getting into a relationship. Thankfully, I've come out of it, but I'm still looking for someone. Lonely and sad and whatnot. Ideally, I don't want someone to come and save me from my loneliness. I want to understand my loneliness, my sadness, or my issues on my own, and like come out of my own issues. I don't want a relationship to come and fix my issues, right? At least issues that I can fix on my own. I mean, I think most or almost all issues I can fix on my own. All right. If the issue is I don't have a relationship, then yeah, I can fix it with someone by getting into a relationship, right? But I think most or like 99.99%, 99999% of issues I can solve on my own, or even 100%, except the problem of relationship which needs another person, right? Like if I cry that I don't have a relationship, I basically need another person or another set of people. It's non-monogamy, but in my case it's monogamy. So yeah, I mean, so thankfully I came out of that day, those bad days, but I'm still looking for a partner. But yeah, that's a bad case to look for a partner when you're lonely, sad, and you really want to actually be with someone and all. I'm the kind of person who actually spends a lot of time on my own, alone, with my own thoughts. I think a lot of people don't spend enough time with themselves, and I think I might be spending too much time with myself. Anyways, I don't socialize so much, at least not these days. But yeah, at some point I feel very very lonely and want to socialize a lot. That time I just socialize. So I just spend a lot of time on my own, right? I make YouTube videos like this one and whatnot. And So yeah, I mean, I'll actually like a lot of time for myself, right? And space for myself, alone time, right? Myself, alone time, and alone. Lot of it, right? So, and I like to basically, I am not sure if I have enough time for a relationship, but I'm still looking for one. Why am I looking for a relationship? I don't know. I mean, I want to actually just be with someone who's really good, like me, who's, say, very thoughtful and whatnot, and have thoughtful conversations. As of now, my YouTube videos are enough for me. Like, I just create a YouTube video and people comment on it, and that's a thoughtful conversation for me. But yeah, I mean, it would be nice to actually be with someone and have a thoughtful conversation, and also, like, have my acts of service. For example, say I actually like massages, head massages, and whatnot. Of course, I can get a head massage from outside, but I would actually want to actually give a head massage to my partner and also get a head massage, or spend quality time with them, and physical touch, like hold hands and hug and cuddle and travel and stuff, right? It would be nice. So, but yeah, I don't know if I'll have enough time for my partner. That's one thing. So it's important to have enough time. I'm already trying to juggle with my work, life, right? Work or job, and as a whole career, right? Life, health, right? And family, right? So when I say life, that like anything in general, right? So family, like my parents, be a good son, be a good brother, be a good uncle. I have two nibblings, a niece and a nephew, right? And be a good brother-in-law, right? BIL. So I have enough responsibilities. So it's going to be tricky to actually be in a romantic relationship. I don't even have enough time to spend for my friends, right? I have a very few friends. I don't connect with them too much, only at times, but yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's all I had for this video talking about relationships, romantic relationships, and I might tell more. For example, I wanted to tell about some expectations of women, right, and how it was ridiculous. For example, they said they wanted to have intellectual conversations. I mean, it was nice. Even I would like to have intellectual conversations, but they said stuff like, let's say they have intellectual conversations, but then if the guy is too short, they'll probably not go with him. That's very crazy, right? You can't have it all very easily, but anyways, they want to have intellectual conversations, lot of money. The guy should have a lot of money, lot of money, right? Intellectual conversations, right? Guy should have a lot of money, income, right? And know how to drive, say, car, and should live in a place, a location that makes sense for the woman also. Let's say they are very far away somewhere else. That is a no, big no. Many things I just forgot, but basically they have a lot of expectations, and the funny thing is they won't compromise on anything. They have very weird stuff like tall, which is like, I'm like, if all of this work out, but if they're not tall, apparently they won't agree. How stupid is that? I don't know. But I get it. I get it that they have expectations because they want someone like that, right? It's just that when you actually make a decision like this and say that if someone is not tall, then I won't agree. But if they're all of these, it would be sad for both sides because you're just missing out. right? Assuming both sides like each other, but then I'm guessing the woman won't like the guy because probably just because of this. So they'll just end up being friends or something, right? Anyway, so that's all I had for this video talking about romantic relationships and stuff. So I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.